What if I told you a top blockchain lost 74% of its value and was declared dead, only to come back 1 year later and beat Ethereum in decentralized exchange volume? Hey everyone, I'm Jessica, and welcome to the Solana Explainer on the Crypto Simplex channel. Today, we're diving deep into a name you've probably heard a lot lately. A blockchain that literally rose from the ashes after a collapse that many thought was the end. Solana. So let's just cut right to the chase. The whole reason Solana even exists is to answer one fundamental question. For years, the big problem in crypto has been this balancing act, right? You want speed, but it gets expensive. So can you really have the best of both worlds? Can a network handle a massive amount of traffic super fast without the fees going totally insane? Well, here's Solana's answer in plain numbers. And when you put it next to Ethereum, the reigning king of smart contracts, it's not even a contest. You've got Ethereum chugging along at maybe 13 transactions a second, with fees that can easily be several bucks. And then you have Solana, which just blows past 2,500 transactions per second, with fees that are less than a single penny. We're not talking about a small improvement here. This is a completely different universe of performance. And that unbelievable performance is exactly why, when Solana launched back in 2020, it immediately got slapped with the label Ethereum Killer. This thing wasn't designed to be a minor upgrade. No, it was built from the ground up to tackle the biggest headache in blockchain: scaling. So how in the world does it pull this off? Well, at its heart, Solana is what we call a monolithic blockchain. Now, all that means is that everything, processing transactions, reaching agreements, storing data, it all happens on one single hyper-optimized layer. Think of it less like a computer built from off-the-shelf parts and more like a Formula One car, where every single component is custom-built to work in perfect harmony for one thing and one thing only: pure, unadulterated speed. All right, so let's pop the hood and see what makes this engine run. This kind of speed isn't magic. It's the result of some seriously clever engineering. It's actually a whole collection of innovations working together. But everything really starts with one core, game-changing idea. And that big idea is called proof of history, or POH for short. This, right here, is the absolute heart of Solana. You see, most blockchains waste a ton of time and energy just talking to each other to agree on the exact order of events. Proof of history throws that all out the window by creating a verifiable, cryptographic timestamp for everything that happens. It's basically like giving the entire network one perfectly synchronized universal clock. So here's how that works in practice. Picture a notary, okay? But a super fast one. A leader node on the network takes all the incoming transactions and just timestamps them, one after another, creating a verifiable record of what happened and when. This means the other validators on the network don't have to debate or vote on the sequence. They just look at the timestamps and go, yep. It completely eliminates this massive communication jam that slows other blockchains down. But proof of history isn't a solo act. It's the conductor of a whole orchestra. You've also got Turbine, which chops up big blocks of data into smaller, easier-to-handle packets, so they can zip across the network faster. Then there's Gulfstream, which gets rid of the dreaded network waiting room by forwarding transactions directly to the validators who are next in line. And finally, you have Sealevel, which is the network's superpower. It lets Solana process thousands of smart contracts all at the same time in parallel. It's a true multitasker. Now, the tech is fascinating for sure. But honestly, the real story of Solana isn't just about the code. It's been an absolute roller coaster. A story of a meteoric rise, a catastrophic crash, and what might be one of the most incredible comeback stories in crypto history. Let me just walk you through it. So it launches in 2020, and by 2021, it is the darling of the bull market. A huge part of that success was its close relationship and heavy financial backing from the crypto exchange FTX. They were its biggest cheerleader. And then November 2022 happened. FTX, this absolute giant of the industry, collapsed in the most spectacular and disastrous way possible. And because Solana and FTX were so tightly linked in everyone's mind, the fallout was just devastating. The price of its token, SOL, fell off a cliff, dropping over 74%. confidence was completely shattered. The consensus on crypto Twitter, in the news, everywhere, was that this was the end. It was the death of Solana. For all intents and purposes, it looked like game over. But then, something pretty amazing started to happen. The core community of developers and users who were still there, they didn't run for the exits. They did the opposite. They dug in their heels and rallied around this new mantra, OPOS. It stands for Only Possible on Solana. And it became this defiant cry, this spark that ignited a full-blown community-led rebirth from the ground up. And this wasn't just talk and wishful thinking. This comeback was real, and you can see it in the data. By December of 2023, for the first time in history, the trading volume on Solana's decentralized exchanges actually surpassed Ethereum's. That's a massive deal. It was hard proof that real users and real activity were flooding back in. So, all of this new energy has just fueled an absolute explosion of development. A whole new wave of projects has sprung up, all designed to take advantage of Solana's strengths, that speed and those low costs. So what's actually being built on Solana right now? Well, for starters, it's a massive hub for DeFi and NFTs. You got huge decentralized exchanges like Jupiter doing incredible volume. And the NFT scene is absolutely buzzing with projects like Mad Lads leading the way. These have really become the new pillars of the ecosystem. But it goes way deeper than that. The network speed is perfect for actual payments, with apps like Helium making that a reality. And it's become the undisputed home for a really exciting new category called DePIN, which stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks. Think of projects like Helium building wireless networks, or Render building networks for graphics rendering, all powered by the blockchain. It's pretty wild stuff. And you really can't talk about the Solana comeback without mentioning the meme coin phenomenon. I mean, to see the raw power and cultural energy on the chain, just look at Book of Meme. This thing went from nothing to a $1 billion market cap in about 2 days. Now, whatever you think of meme coins, that kind of viral explosion is the ultimate stress test. And it shows that Solana can handle an absolutely insane amount of activity without breaking a sweat. So, what's on the horizon? Well, the crazy part is that after all this drama and success, Solana is still technically in mainnet beta. The job is not done. The team isn't taking a victory lap. They are pushing constantly to make the network even more powerful and more reliable. There are some huge upgrades coming down the pipe. The biggest one everyone is watching is Firedancer, a completely new, independent validator client that could dramatically boost performance and make the network way more resilient. Beyond that, they're constantly improving the tools for developers, and most importantly, working to make sure the network outages that happened in the early days are a thing of the past. And this all brings us to the biggest question of all. Solana is making a powerful argument that a single, super fast, all-in-one chain is the way to go. So is that the future? Does one chain eventually win it all? Or are we heading towards a world where many different specialized blockchains all coexist and work together? That is the billion-dollar question everyone in crypto is trying to answer. And Solana is making a very, very strong case for its side. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to Crypto Simplex and hit the like button. Stay tuned for more simple and clear crypto insights.